Remember that time you had the perfect day in Epcot?
Today, we are talking about how to have the perfect day at Epcot. Our perfect days at Epcot Center. Our perfect days at the experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Morning in Epcot.
A perfect day at Epcot, I'm gonna wake up at Disney's Beach Club because it's the closest resort to Epcot.
The sun is shining.
Starts a little later than the other parks, I'll tell you that.
Which was really nice compared to your Magic Kingdom morning where you had to get there at 9.
I would go ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure as soon as it opens.
I'm not there yet. I'm asleep in my bed.
If I'm asked what is the perfect morning at Epcot, it's not at Epcot!
It's very important to rope drop Epcot.
My favorite ride at Epcot is eating and drinking, and you don't have to rope drop that.
So you got a pregame, heading over to the France Pavilion and going to Leon and getting some hot, warm, freshly baked croissants. So good.
If you're gonna eat in the morning at Epcot, don't! But if you had to, go to France.
Leon's the bakery in France. That's my favorite place to eat in Epcot ever, anywhere, anytime. And they usually open earlier than the Rest of the World Showcase so you can get delicious French baked treats.
What do I think the most popular things to do in the morning at Epcot are? It's the rides. The rides lines get so long first thing in the morning.
And the reason for this is Epcot does not have a ton of rides. So if I'm looking to do Test Track or something that day, typically I'm going to do it first thing to kind of get that out of the way. Plus, going 60 miles per hour, that's a very good way to wake up along with the coffee.
Y'all know my opinion on that ride. You probably drove to Epcot. You've already ridden that ride.
Epcot now, I guess Remy is the most popular, but Test Track is always popular in the morning, but breaks down a lot in the morning also.
Test Track's probably not gonna open on time. I'm here to tell you this right now. You can check it as you breeze past to go to Frozen Ever After, but Test Track is mad a lot.
Soarin, a fan favorite, and of course Frozen for the kids.
Yeah, I do think if you have a full day at Epcot and you're not buying Genie Plus, Remy, Frozen Ever After, and Test Track are good options.
I don't think you're wrong for either decision, left or right, Mexico or Canada.
I started from Mexico because I gotta get my margarita. I gotta get my avocado margarita and my queso cheese.
You don't want to start with beer. You want to end with beer because that's what's in Canada. You do not want to end with tequila. I've done it. I've made mistakes. I'm big enough to admit that I've made mistakes, and let me tell you, ending with tequila, mistake. You want to start with tequila when you're still excited. You're still joyful and full of life. You're like, yeah, give me a tequila shot. Let's do it.
I think that the proper way to start is in Canada, and then to go around and finish in Mexico.
How wrong are the people that go to Canada? Well, Canadians aren't real people. So
You walk on to the little ramp and you go down and you get on the boat. And here's what that's gonna do. The boat's gonna take you to Morocco. I start my day in Morocco and then I go left away from France.
Epcot Day is your chill day, friends. I'm the opposite at Magic Kingdom. I'm the opposite at Hollywood Studios. But at Epcot and Animal Kingdom, we are chill.
Unlike the other parks, Epcot, an afternoon in Epcot is when I start getting a little cranky.
But we are rejuvenated because we didn't get there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We got there at like 11 or noon.
we're here. We are arriving at Epcot. You listened to me. You didn't go in the morning. You slept, you had pool day, you ate a delicious brunch.
So afternoon, we feel great.
So the best thing to do is to feed me some kind of both food and also just an iced beverage.
And if you didn't put sunscreen on this morning, put it on. Listen, here's the thing. I know a lot of you are like, well, I don't burn. Pussy's a ginger. Of course she needs sunscreen. You need it too. You need it too.
We have already done most of the big rides in Epcot so far. Now it's time for the cool down, if you ask me.
You know, I'm gonna need some entertainment in my life, so I think I might go to the American Pavilion,
where the walk-up bar for Regal Eagle has a fabulous frozen mint julep. And this is like, it's such a refreshing drink.
You can always count on American Adventure. Always.
Comfy seats, old men voices on stage, just Snoozeville, USA.
You shouldn't be napping in Epcot.
You know what? I probably don't need a nap because I didn't rope drop. So I'm probably fine, but if I do need a nap, I'm probably going American Adventure.
That's heresy.
As much as I enjoy watching it, it's right in the middle of World Showcase, so by now maybe we've made it halfway around. You need a 30-minute little snooze to pick yourself back up. Go for it. No one will judge you.
Go to your room and nap.
American Adventure gets my seal of approval for a nap location in Epcot.
I think the most popular things to do in the afternoon, I see tons of people walking around in the heat.
And I'm not gonna knock it. Eating is probably the best thing you can do at any time in Epcot.
Well, we're there on a festival day, right? So you should just try things. Try good food, okay?
Let's just go to the booths and share everything and walk in the stores. It's the afternoon. We've done all the big rides we want to. Now we're gonna just enjoy Epcot.
Another way to take a break, like I said, is to ride those lines that never get long, ride those rides with lines that never get long. So I'm talking Figment.
I want to ride the Seas with Nemo and Friends because I want to go see my friend Mr. Eel.
Living with the Land is my go-to.
That's a great relaxing ride. Wonderful in the afternoon. Never has a line.
We are absolutely not riding Mission Space, and I'm probably not riding Test Track either. I don't love Test Track. I know that's people get mad. I think if you've got little kids, especially if you've got little boys like my nephews who are obsessed with Test Track because they don't get to drive a car and they love cars and all things with wheels. There are more wheels in the universe, by the way, than there are doors.
Alright, the sun is starting to set.
The torches are lit around World Showcase.
And now it's time for the main event.
Evening is the best time at Epcot.
Honestly, if I were to really do my perfect day in Epcot, it would be just going in the evening.
In my opinion, Epcot is most magical at night.
I am not sure you can go wrong with how you spend your evening in Epcot, unless I guess you were just riding the Seas with Nemo and Friends over and over and over again and then hanging out in the sea base. That'd be kind of a weird one.
What I like to do though, when the sun finally sets, before Harmonious and before you get your table service food on, I like to go and watch the beautiful icon of the park come to life.
Because the Beacons of Magic, they are lighting up all 4 park icons in the evening times for the 50th. And Spaceship Earth understood the assignment. It's so beautiful.
Let me tell you, it lights up and it's so beautiful, and the music behind it literally brings tears to my eyes. It's like a show in itself. It really is.
What rides are best to ride?
Ride Test Track. I feel like a lot of people like a good nighttime Test Track. I do, actually. That's my preferred time to ride Test Track.
Open those doors and you're like, oh, it's nighttime. And it just feels cool to be in a convertible at night in Florida, and it's still 80 degrees outside. Your hair's blowing in the wind. So definitely ride Test Track at night if you haven't, and use that single rider line.
Food? It's whatever food we haven't eaten yet.
Probably a sweet treat, huh? I think usually around the time of fireworks, I'm looking for something a little sweet. I've had my savory all day. And
So I assume we're kind of around France, so we're going to the bakery. We may even go to the French ice cream shop to get ourselves a delicious ice cream. And then, if we make it to the UK, we're getting fish and chips.
Food situation for the evening for me is always going to be a table service restaurant. I love eating at a table service restaurant in Epcot. Something that I've never had before, or a classic like Le Cellier and their delicious steak and maple creme brulee. Oh my gosh, that beer cheese soup and pretzel bread. Get out of town.
But also Rose and Crown is good in the UK Pavilion. And that one's a good dinner one because it's a heavy meal. So if you can get it, watch the fireworks, and then get to leave and go lay down, that's the move on Rose and Crown.
For me, the evening consists of 2 things: a great table service restaurant and watching Harmonious, okay?
I love Harmonious. I think Harmonious is incredible. It's one of my favorite nighttime shows I've ever seen. The music is absolutely incredible. The fireworks are so fun. The projections are fun. But for me, the soundtrack is what makes Harmonious just amazing.
In fact, they have the Harmonious album on Spotify, And I haven't felt the need to go watch Harmonious because I'm like, I can just listen to it whenever I want.
Now, Harmonious is a little tricky, right? Because Magic Kingdom, I kind of don't care where I watched from.
But that's the place. You want to see Harmonious right in the middle.
There's this ring that looks like Thanos' ship, and you want to ideally be looking straight into it. So the best place to watch, if you are walking up from Future World into World Showcase, smack dab in the middle, staring at the ring, and on the other side of that ring will be American Adventure.
I really like Italy. Italy's a great spot. Between Italy and the American Adventure, between the stage and like Italy, that's a good spot there.
Fantasmic will always have a place in my heart, but Harmonious is truly glorious. And so the evening for me has to be capped off by watching that wonderful show.
Genie Plus is not as powerful in Epcot as it is in Magic Kingdom.
However, for me, if I don't ride a single thing in Epcot, I probably still had a good day.
If you're like a lot of people that go to Epcot and they just go for festivals and they go to eat and drink, and it's kind of like, if I ride Frozen, great, if not, whatever. I don't think you need Genie Plus.
I think that if I were going to do an Epcot day, I might pony up for Fancy Ride TM to ride Remy's, and then I'd leave Genie Plus at home.
I do think the RTT cast would have a good day together in Epcot. I think Epcot will be the ideal park for the RTT cast to hang out.
But having done scavenger hunts there with a decent chunk of the cast, I will say that I might be one of the people to get in a fight. I don't know with who.
Have you met Molly?
Have you ever been in a group of people and had this conversation? What do you want to do? I don't care. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't care. What do you want to do? That's going to be your Epcot day in a big group. We got like a lot of different palettes. We got a lot of different dietary delights. You know, we got a lot. We're going to have to split up.
I think RJ would be so fun at Epcot.
Listen, this is like a dream for me. We gotta make this happen, RTT fam. Let's go to Epcot together and let's have a perfect day.
And I want to sit in the audience at Voices of Liberty with RJ, because I know we'd both be there going, because he can sing, let's face it.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be the worst part. You know how most rides in Disney World are 2 seats? Duckfist and Alan are gonna sit together. Lindsay and Jared are gonna sit together. Breedlove and RJ are gonna sit together. What are Quincy Morgan and I supposed to do? We're gonna have to pick who we sit with? That means somebody's sitting alone. I don't wanna sit alone, but I also don't wanna make none of my friends sit alone. So the 3 of us are gonna have to be like, well, guess I'll sit alone on Spaceship Earth. Welcome to the future, you lonely sack of garbage, because your friends all picked to sit with other people.
Ooh, if I only had 1 hour in Epcot.
I would spend that hour having a margarita at La Cava and riding Grand Fiesta Tour. So I would spend the entire hour in Mexico.
I would try to get as much classic Epcot done in 1 hour as I possibly could.
I would spend it entirely eating.
I went recently with my friends and I got really sick after like the first hour of being there. Like I ate something that I couldn't digest, I guess. And I had to go home. I still had a nice time. So I guess eating and then getting sick.
I think that the day in Epcot I just described is fine if you're like me and you just want to go eat and drink and enjoy being at Epcot.
I feel like my idea of a perfect day at Epcot is a good recommendation for everyone because it's filled with variety. So even if you're only going to Epcot one day, you do a little bit of the food, you do a little bit of the rides, you do a little bit of the shows, and you cap it off with Harmonious.
The perfect days that I do in my very long videos, those are more geared towards families and people that want to ride all the rides. So I think between these 2, I've told you how to have the perfect day, but everybody's gonna have a different perfect day.
I'm having a low-key day of non-alcoholic vegan fun with a lot of nostalgia. And if you are interested in that, one person that finds that appealing, then find me and let's go to Epcot together and I will show you my Epcot Center.
I sort of don't believe in Canada as a concept. You should finish in the Fantasyland section rather than start there. I mean, how's anything supposed to measure up to a Dreamland? right? I like to stay pretty grounded when I'm in Epcot, and as soon as I go to Canada, I'm like, this is not real. No place is this friendly, loves maple syrup, has bears, and like things they call Mounties, and Martin Short. You may think some of our ideas about how to spend a perfect day at Epcot are questionable, but you can always check out our video on how to spend a perfect day at the Magic Kingdom.